Usain Bolt, fraud, SSL, madness, and lies. Welcome back to the channel, people. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, thank you for making it Peter Lloyd World. Go ahead, please hit the subscribe button so we can continue to grow. When you do that, go ahead and hit the notification bell so you know when the next video drops. We drop a video at least once a day here on Peter Lloyd World. Also, if you enjoy the content, please hit that like button. And finally, leave your thoughts. So, this is going to be a Peter Lloyd World rant. Listen. Years ago, at about 1995-96, I visited Montego Bay, Jamaica, and I was a little youth, and I was introduced to this idea. There was this big thing that was taking over the entire Montego Bay, and this is how this worked. If you gave them 10,000 Jamaican dollars, which was a good amount of money at that time in the early 1990s, in a month they would give you back 25,000. If you kept it longer, they'd give you 30,000. It was essentially a pyramid scheme, but none of us in Jamaica even understood the concept of a pyramid scheme. Obviously, I was young and dumb, and I thought this would be an easy way to make money, so I put some money in one and put some money in the other. I was lucky enough in the first one, I got back my money, tripled my money actually. In the second one, I lost everything. Tons of Montegonians lost scrap loads of money. And then a little further down, we had something called Olint. Y'all remember that one? Big established company where it was, again, another Ponzi scheme, another pyramid scheme. Same basic thing, same idea. If you give me $10, in a month, 2 months, I give you back $20. One thing I've learned in life is anything like that, anything with those kind of returns don't make sense. If it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, looks like a duck, and shy like a duck, it's probably a duck. Now, this thing that happened to Usain Bolt is not the same thing. It's not a Ponzi scheme. It's, something completely different. But the impact it is having on the industry is frightening. First up, why would this woman do this to Usain Bolt? That's what people keep asking. And I keep asking them, why wouldn't she? The person, if she did this, is as alleged, was a thief. She was just a thief. She was stealing. And of course, we all have many, many questions about this. Is this one person, could one person really do this for so long, etc.? So let's reason about this for a little bit. In case you don't know what I'm talking about and you are living on the rock somewhere, Usain Bolt recently found out that he had invested, I think it was $6.5 million, which they believe would have accrued to $12.7 million at this point in time. He did this investment maybe 12, 13 years ago. And only to find out that the person in charge of his account, it is alleged, stole all his money, and the person went on to steal something like 30 to 40 persons' money. This totaled approximately 3 billion Jamaican dollars, which to date is the biggest fraud in the history of this country. That's huge. Now, when they asked Bolt, how are you coping with this? Well, he said two things. He said, first up, he's not broke, which we didn't think he was, because I think his former business manager, Peart, said he has a lifetime contract with Puma. And I think, I don't want to misquote, but it's very lucrative. And plus he has many other endorsements. He's Usain Bolt. He's the fastest man who's ever lived. He's financially okay. But of course, he said losing that much money is going to hurt. In fact, he said, for me, it's tough, but I think the years of competing helped me to understand and just focus. I leave the matter to my lawyer's hands, and I'm just trying to focus on my family and trying not to think too much about it, because it's a stressful situation. People losing $12.7 million US would be stressful to anyone. I think even Elon Musk would have a problem with that one. But here's what really disturbs me. Lately we have been finding out some other stuff about the director of, because of the scope of this thing, the minister of finance in Jamaica, Minister Nigel Clark, of course, had to pay some attention to this himself and the Prime Minister. And here's the first thing that first up, everything already that I said really disturbed me, but here's what really, really, really terrified me. The company who finds himself in the midst of all of this is SSL, that is Stocks and Securities Limited. And apparently they filed for bankruptcy. Now, what that would have done, people, is that would have meant that none would have got back our money. Anyone involved with SSL, basically, they would have just basically said, we don't have no money, we can't pay nobody on that, and they would have been protected under that right. And I mean, that's, to say that shade is an understatement. It's very disappointing and terrifying. Obviously, they're trying to protect themselves, because I do not think SSL is going to survive this. I don't think so. I mean, it's unlikely. And if they do, their reputation would have been so tarnished. It's terrifying. The minister came out and told everyone that they filed for bankruptcy, and then SSL in return said no, they did not file for bankruptcy. So you're looking at now the minister on his Twitter, that is Minister Nigel Clark, dropped all these documents proving that they did file for bankruptcy. Now, how do we process this? I mean, it's bad enough to think that a former employee, because apparently she was fired, stole all this money from all these clients, including the great Usain Bolt. Went, and this is what's even more bizarre. I mean, this is the badness. Apparently she went to Usain Bolt's team and confessed that she had stole his money and asked them if they would help her, give her money to pay back the other clients. Wow. I'm not even sure how to respond to that. I mean, okay, maybe it's a good thing that she confessed for whatever reason, but the man that you just stole all that money from, 12 point something million US dollars, you're going to ask this man because you think he has money to help pay back for all these other people. That's a madness here. The lies, SSL filing for bankruptcy to leave everyone in the hole and save themselves, and saying that they didn't, and now the minister, Nigel Clark, has proven that they absolutely did. Who do we believe in this scenario? And how does this reestablish our faith in the financial system in Jamaica? Look, as I said in a previous video, the average person is going to say, if you can do this to Usain Bolt, brand Jamaica himself outside of Bob Marley, those two people are brand Jamaica. Who can't you do this to? And instead of standing up and facing the music, SSL apparently wanted to basically leave everyone in a hole. So the message being sent to the average person is you can't trust any of these financial institutions. It's not fair, because I'm sure that 99.99% of the financial institutions in Jamaica are not like that. They don't function like that. But we have to really consider, though, seriously, if you did this to Usain Bolt, who can't you do this to? And if you did this and you lied openly to your clients and to the whole island and say you did not file for bankruptcy, when clearly you did, who do we trust? The madness is a young lady going to the people them and saying, I stole your money, help me to pay back the other people their money. The fraud, we already know what that is. The lies is a company filing for bankruptcy to leave everybody else in the hole. Everybody lose their money and they walk away free, scot-free. I'm trying to maintain my calm in this conversation. You know, I don't want to come across as someone who's screaming at the top of their lungs. But this does not bode well, because what you're doing is you're damaging the entire industry. And I understand you have to try and save yourself. But maybe we should go back to some time, I'm not sure if that time ever existed, to be honest, where people can be a little bit more transparent and just a little bit more honest. It is terrifying that this young man lost so much money. It is also terrifying that these 40 plus persons, hopefully, all these other people have lost so much money. We're hoping that they'll be able to get back some of it. But people, based on what I've done and my research tells me that it's unlikely that they'll get back most of their money. So, conclusion. This wasn't a Ponzi scheme. Bolt didn't do anything wrong. This lady stole from him, but the company didn't stand up. They weren't stand-up people, and that's hurtful. And hopefully I'm wrong about everything I'm saying. And I have to add the word alleged to everything to protect myself. But this, of course, is my 2 cents. Thanks for listening to the rant. What are your thoughts? Now, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button. Remember, you are royals, kings and queens. Bless up.